Good night.
Good night. The party's over.
Matthew Ford McClung, aka Mac McClung, born January 6, 1999. A player like Mac McClung was supposed to be a perfect fit for today's NBA. He had the highlights, the confidence, and the skill set to at least carve out a role somewhere, if not as a star, then at least a valuable contributor. Instead, he spent his professional career bouncing from team to team, league to league, with no real place to call home. It's a strange case. Here's a guy who dominated high school basketball, became a viral sensation, and earned a spot at Georgetown under a legendary coach before finishing at Texas Tech. He was a scorer at every level and arguably one of the best dunkers the NBA has ever seen, so why hasn't he been able to stick in the league? The NBA is full of athletic, high-flying scoring guards, but that's never been enough to secure a long-term career. The league is just about adaptability, fit, and opportunity as it is about talent. McClung's situation is a perfect example of how even the most gifted players can struggle to find their place when certain factors don't align. From the outside, it may look like McClung never really got a fair shot. He had stints with multiple NBA teams, but never for long. Even after winning the 2023 NBA dunk contest and showing glimpses of his offensive firepower in the G League, teams continue to cycle him in and out of two-way contracts, never fully committing to him as a part of their future. That raises the question of whether his game translates beyond the highlights or if he was always destined to be an in-between player, too good for the G League but not quite what teams want in a full-time NBA rotation. His athleticism is undeniable, but the NBA is filled with explosive athletes. His scoring ability is proven, but efficiency and role fit determine a player's long-term success at the highest level. At every stop, McClung has had to prove himself, only to be left searching for the next opportunity when teams ultimately move on. His professional career has been defined by temporary opportunities rather than stability, as he remains on the fringes of the league trying to find something more permanent. For now, he exists in basketball limbo, caught between the flashes of brilliance and the reality of an unforgiving NBA landscape that has yet to make room for him. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to Jeremiah Lewis on IG for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get her. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Mac McClung is a listed 6'2" point guard shooting guard whose journey to basketball stardom began in Gate City, Virginia, where his electrifying athleticism and jaw-dropping dunks turned him into an internet sensation. His high school mixtapes racked up millions of views, showing a 6'2" guard with an explosive vertical, fearless scoring ability, and the swagger of a player destined for something bigger. He committed to Georgetown, where he quickly became a fan favorite with his aggressive scoring and highlight reel plays. But after 2 seasons, coaching instability, and a desire for a bigger stage led him to transfer to Texas Tech. There, he continued to prove himself as a scorer, earning Big 12 Newcomer of the Year honors in 2021. Undrafted in the NBA, McClung fought for every opportunity, excelling in the G League and earning brief stints with several teams. Despite winning 3 straight slam dunk contests, his NBA career remains defined by short-term contracts and uncertainty. Stunt number 1, the highlight reel illusion. Mac McClung's game has always been built around excitement. His high school mixtapes were filled with gravity-defying dunks, tough shot making, and an unshakable confidence that made him look like a future NBA star. But in the league, highlight plays don't define careers. Consistency, efficiency, and fit within a system do. McClung's biggest challenge has been proving he's more than just a viral sensation, and so far, teams haven't seen enough reason to believe he can impact winning in a stable long-term role. The NBA has a long history of players whose games were more entertaining than effective. McClung's ability to put up points is undeniable, but his scoring style is high risk and heavily reliant on difficult shots. He thrives in transition and one-on-one situations, but lacks the size and off-ball skills to seamlessly fit into most team structures. Unlike other undersized guards who carved out roles by excelling in specific areas, whether it's three-point shooting, playmaking, or defense, McClung's overall game is still undefined at the NBA level. His athleticism is real, but it's not unique enough to overshadow his limitations. Ja Morant is an explosive athlete at 6'2", but he pairs that with elite playmaking and an ability to control an offense. McClung, while quick and bouncy, hasn't shown he can reliably run a team or make high-level reads as a point guard. That leaves him in an awkward spot, not big enough to be an off-ball scorer and not polished enough to be a lead guard. While fans may see his highlight plays and wonder why he isn't getting a real opportunity, NBA teams see the gaps in his game. They see a player who can shine in moments but hasn't proven he can contribute within a system for an entire season. Stunt number 2, the defensive liability. No matter how exciting a player is offensively, defense plays a massive role in whether they can secure a long-term spot in the NBA. For McClung, this has been one of the biggest obstacles to sticking with the team. At 6'2", with a slender frame and average wingspan, he's undersized for a shooting guard, but lacks the instincts, length, and defensive awareness to be a high-level defender at the point guard position. In a league where teams relentlessly target mismatches, McClung is often the weak link when he's on the floor. NBA coaches value defensive versatility, and smaller guards who can't defend multiple positions often struggle to find consistent roles. The best undersized guards in the league either compensate with elite offense like Trae Young or become pesky, disruptive defenders like Jose Alvarado. McClung, however, falls somewhere in between. He's not an elite enough playmaker or shooter to justify heavy minutes, and his defensive struggles make him a liability against bigger, stronger, and more experienced NBA guards. Even in the G League, where the competition isn't as fierce, McClung has never been known for his defense. His effort is there, but effort alone doesn't always translate to impact. He can be overpowered by bigger guards, struggles to navigate screens, and doesn't possess the lateral quickness to consistently stay in front of elite ball handlers. For NBA teams, this makes it difficult to justify giving him minutes. A backup point guard has to either create efficient offense or hold their own defensively. Right now, McClung doesn't do either well enough at the NBA level. Until he can improve his defensive impact and become a true offensive specialist, teams will continue to view him as a liability rather than reliable piece to their rotation. Stunt number 3, the lack of a defining skill. NBA role players don't need to be great at everything, they just need to be elite at one or two things. A player can survive in the league for years by specializing in a single skill, whether it's shooting, defense, playmaking, or rebounding. The problem for McClung is that he does a lot of things well but nothing elite. Without a standout, bankable skill, it's difficult for teams to justify keeping him on the roster when so many other players bring more defined value. McClung is an explosive scorer, but his efficiency wavers. His three-point shooting is respectable, but not reliable enough to make him a true floor spacer. He's a solid ball handler, but he doesn't consistently create for teammates the way a traditional point guard should. His athleticism is impressive, but he doesn't leverage it on defense or use it to finish through contact against NBA-sized defenders consistently. For comparison, look at players like Duncan Robinson or Seth Curry. Both have limited skill sets, but their elite three-point shooting makes them invaluable to teams. Even undersized guards like TJ McConnell or Peyton Pritchard have carved out careers because they bring high-level playmaking, hustle, or defensive toughness. McClung, while talented, has yet to develop a signature skill that makes him indispensable. Coaches and front offices want players who fit a specific role. Right now, McClung is more of a tweener, not quite a primary ball handler, not a true shooting guard, and not a defensive stopper. Without a clear identity, he remains an easy choice to be cut when rosters need trimming. Until he sharpens his game into something undeniable, he'll continue floating between teams, always good enough for a shot, but never quite valuable enough to keep. All in all, McClung's journey is a reminder that talent alone isn't enough to guarantee an NBA career. He has the athleticism, the scoring ability, and the work ethic, but at the highest level, those qualities only matter if they translate into a defined role that teams can trust. So far, McClung has yet to prove that he can be more than just a temporary spark, a player who shines in flashes but lacks the consistency and specialization to hold on to a long-term spot in the league. His highlights will always attract attention, and his performances in the G League show that he's too skilled for lower levels of basketball. But in the NBA, where every possession is scrutinized, his weaknesses become more glaring. defensive struggles, an undefined role, and a game built more for excitement than efficiency have left him in basketball limbo. Unless he finds a way to redefine himself, whether through elite shooting, improved defense, or high-level playmaking, he'll remain a player that teams like to have around but never fully commit to. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, in my opinion, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.